Well, now having thoroughly ruined that song for everyone involved, hello everyone, this is Ben back with more Let's Play for you. In this case, specifically, Let's Play Star Wars Episode 1 Battle for Naboo. Now, to start this LP off, I'm not going to be jumping right into the first mission. Instead, I'm going to be going around the options menu a little bit, showing you a little bit more about this game than I did for Rogue Squadron right off the bat. Alright, so with the options menu, obviously we have the elite officers, which is basically the scoreboard, passcodes, game settings. Let's take a look at the settings real quick. Auto roll and auto level are on, just like in Rogue Squadron. Free camera is off and crosshairs are on. You notice that there is no setting for high resolution textures. In this case, they assumed that everybody playing this game would already have the expansion pack installed in their N64s, and if you didn't, the game would suffer greatly. Let's take a look at the sound settings now. Music volume, sound effects volume, speech volume. We can actually play this game in stereo instead of mono. Let's go ahead and turn the music down a little bit. Sound effects. That's okay. Speech. No, we want to keep that high because, believe me, if there's one thing that none of the reviews that I read mentioned, it's the voice acting in this game compared to the voice acting in Rogue Squadron. Oh boy, we're going to be in for a ride, folks. Believe me. So let's go down to, let me see, control settings. Just like Rogue Squadron, we have several preset control settings to choose from. In this case, we're going to want to go with one that's closest to the Rogue Squadron style of settings. Let me see here. Tight turn, roll, brakes. Yes, this is it. Yeah, for some reason they decided to switch the default controls on you. So if you're using the A set controls, the default ones, then your controls are going to be somewhat screwed up if you try actually going into the game itself just right off the bat. Now the passcodes, I could show you some passcodes now, but I'm going to want to do that towards the end. As I mentioned in the introduction, I want to show things that I don't show in the playthrough via using the passcode section, because this game, just like Rogue Squadron, has a very, very robust cheat section that is in fact encouraged to be used by the game developers themselves. Alright, so let's back out of this and let's go ahead and get started. Let's roll. Alright, sorry for the abrupt cut there, but I realized that my brother still actually had active files in this game, so I went ahead and cleared them out because I didn't want to actually show their names or anything else like that in the game itself. So instead, we're going to go ahead and start out a fresh file here. Because this game, unlike Rogue Squadron is a game that I played to death myself, but this game was a game that all three of us played. So I'm not exactly sure why I hate it as much as I do.
The Trade Federation has invaded Theed, and you must escape. You are ordered to aid your fellow officers as necessary, and follow Captain Kael's commands. Engage the enemy when appropriate, but do not endanger civilians.
Alright, so first mission follows the very beginning of Star Wars Episode 1, where the Trade Federation invades the planet of Naboo and takes the capital city of Theed within, you know, just a couple of hours. Now, in the movie, it doesn't show the Nabooians giving any resistance of any sort. However, in this game, that's not the case. Now, as I mentioned before, I really, really don't like this game, and one of the reasons that I'm going back to do this Let's Play is just to kind of figure out why. I'm not going to practice at any of the missions that I'm going to be playing before I actually play them, simply because I want the effect of the game itself to be raw on my psyche as a more mature player. It could be that I just got frustrated at it as a kid, because if there's anything that this game is, it's hard. Honestly, I think this game is harder than Rogue Squadron, for a variety of reasons, but I'll be going into those reasons as we actually get through different missions. As I said before, I'm not going to be trying to get gold medals in every mission or anything like that. I'm going to be playing through each mission once, posting the raw video of my playthrough, my completed playthrough of a mission. Obviously, if I die, I'm not going to post that, at least not unedited, to be able to get through this game in a timely manner. And I realized that I talked over the entirety of the crawl, but it really doesn't matter. Basically, you're an officer named Gavin Sykes in the Royal Naboo Security Force, the police officers that you see with Queen Amidala in Episode 1. And you're fighting basically a guerrilla getaway battle to get out of the city as fast as you can and still survive, because Trade Federation's coming. Now, if there's one thing that you can kind of see is that the frame rate for this game is not very well optimized. Even as good as the graphics are, the frames drop whenever there's something big on screen. Now, this has our select...
armed. The Flash Speeder functions as the RSF's primary ground patrol vehicle. Well suited to covering Theed city streets, the Speeder is assigned to protecting Theed from all threats. The vehicle's single pursuit, Defense Blaster, is designed to destroy obstacles and lightly armored targets such as battle droids.
Now, you notice that the select craft screen is after the crawl, interestingly enough. After the level introduction, let's go ahead and jump right into the mission.
This is Captain Panaka. I am ordering all officers to clear the city at once. Do not engage the enemy except in self-defense. We don't want a war in our streets. Lieutenant Sykes, this is Captain Kael. Do you read me?
I copy, Captain.
We're pinned down near RSF headquarters. We need assistance now.
On my way, Captain.
And that's something else you're going to realize about this game very quickly, is that pretty much everyone except for yourself is completely useless. So this is one thing that's very different from Rogue Squadron. We're in a ground vehicle. How about that?
Sykes, where are you? My vehicle is damaged.
You can... Battle droids are... Since there's a focus on ground combat, ground-based enemies such as battle droids and droidicas are a much greater focus of this game than they are of, for example, Rogue Squadron, because, to put it simply, in Rogue Squadron, these vehicles and things aren't a threat to you. In this game, they very much are, especially droidicas. Droidicas are extremely annoying once you get to the higher difficulty levels.
Lieutenant. Now let's move out. We'll cut through the plaza. Once we reach the edge of the city, we'll burn jets to the south.
And we want to keep close to Captain Kael.
Yes, sir.
Avoid contact with the enemy as much as possible, because, as Captain Panaka said, our job is not to destroy enemies, it's to...
You're all under arrest.
My engines are damaged. Help me out here.
There we go, we'll use a missile on that AAT. Grab an upgrade back here. I did remember that that was there. There are some upgrades that I'm sure I'm not going to remember, but that one I did remember. Also, droidicas are extremely annoying because they take an obscene amount of damage before they go down thanks to their deflector shields. And there's one problem that I have with this game, is that it feels like your lasers never have any impact on pretty much anything except for battle droids, considering that everything that you shoot can take like 500 shots before it goes down. Alright, so it looks like I've taken quite a lot of damage, and since I don't have a droid with me, I'm not going to get repaired, so I better just keep moving.
I'll be back.
I'll be back. See what I mean about the voice acting in this game? Compared to Rogue Squadron, the voice acting in this game is just absolutely abysmal.
They must be protecting something.
Also, since this game does have fairly tight controls for the ground vehicles, so it's surprising for an N64 game, but unfortunately, those tight controls don't translate very well to just to a single joystick game where you take command of something on the ground. It's something that the N64 just wasn't able to do very well. Very, very few games were able to actually use the N64's controller this well.
Now let's cross over the farmlands and head towards the swamp. Let's take those.
Basically, what I'm complaining about is the fact that you can't strafe. There's no sideways movement at all. It's basically tank controls. You can turn in place and move forward and turn, but you can't strafe back and forth sideways on a horizontally. So it makes it that much more awkward. Looks like we got a silver medal. There's Natalie Portman there. And we also discovered advanced shields in the very first mission. That's something that Rogue Squadron didn't have, was upgrades in the very first mission. Obviously, we had to finish the mission much faster to get a gold, as well as destroy one more enemy, but we didn't do too badly. So, yeah, this wasn't that bad of a initial anyway, despite the fact that I already have to do a lot of editing in the very first episode, thanks to stuff. Yeah, so in the next episode, we'll be going on to the next mission of Star Wars Episode 1, Battle for Naboo. Later, folks. Good night.